We are talking about a book called Extra Innings, a novel written by Bruce Spitzer, who joins me now. This is a book I'm surprised that no one has written before. It takes place 90 years in the future, and guess what? Ted Williams, who is cryogenically frozen, has been reanimated. You're the first one to come up with this idea. What gave you the idea?
Well, like a lot of people, I was watching Orsillo and Remy one night on TV, and between innings, I was surfing around. They were talking about Ted Williams, and then I surfed onto a show where they were talking about mummies and an afterlife, and I put two and two together, and this idea was born.
I read the book, and I'm not going to lie, I did read the entire book. What I liked about it was it's a great idea. It's the idea of Ted Williams coming back to life. It should come as no surprise. I'm not going to give away anything here when I tell you that Ted Williams goes on to play for the Red Sox. I think we all knew that when we picked it up, especially where he's wearing a uniform on the cover. I will tell you, you take the suspension of disbelief to an unheard of level. Would you agree with that point?
Well, there's a lot to think about and to write about. It's a many-layered book, and hopefully I've created what they call in the book industry verisimilitude, which is believability because of credibility in your writing. So
I nodded approvingly because I really don't know what that word means. The facets of Ted Williams that we understand are baseball, war record, his relationship, or lack thereof, with the media, his troubled relationships with women, and his outdoors activities, fishing and hunting and so forth. And you touch on all five of these in the book. Which of those areas gave you the most fun to write about?
Well, I think just as a whole, it was great to imagine him in a future life and what he would be like. As we all know, he was so wonderful in so many ways, but he was also flawed in some ways. I was
going to say he was not so wonderful in a few ways.
Right, and that's really the central theme of the book. If any of us had a chance to do it all over again, what would we do differently?
I have a pretty good working knowledge of the Ted Williams pre-Boston. Did you make, and I made lots of discoveries about Ted Williams, did you make any in your research?
Well, yes, quite a few actually. I was at the Hall of Fame doing research, and one of the things that I discovered is, you know, when he wrote his Hall of Fame induction speech.
The Negro League.
Yes, he obviously advocated for the Negro players to be inducted into the Hall, but I also noticed he wrote it not quite on the back of the proverbial envelope, but on a little tiny piece of stationery from a no-tell motel. And he wrote it on the night before.
How's the book doing?
It's doing great. It's been picked up by Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com, and you can ask for it in your favorite bookstore. And Amazon has taken notice. It's been featured in Sports Illustrated. So it's really doing well, and I'm so pleased that it's caught the imagination of lots of people.
I will see you at the Lansdowne Canal. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you got to read the book.
The book is set in the year 2092, and Boston is very, very different, but there's still a lot you'll recognize.